The full video of what happened on Friday in Washington is well over an hour long. The 4 minutes that made Twitter don't tell the story, but instead distort the story. A longer look shows that the boys from Covington Catholic in Kentucky were not a roving mob looking for a fight. They were, in fact, and it shows it on the tape, standing in place waiting to be picked up by a bus. As they waited there, members of a group called the Black Hebrew Israelites, that's a black supremacist organization, began taunting them with racial epithets. And then Nathan Phillips, the now famous American Indian activist, approached them, pounding on his drum. Now, the footage seems to suggest that the boys were unsure of whether Phillips was hostile or taking their side against the Black Hebrew Israelites. But in any case, there is no evidence at all that anybody said, "build a wall." Here's a selection of what didn't make social media.
This child molesting priest right there.
Right,
Let's make America great again. A bunch of child molesting.
Look at all these dusty crackers with that racist garbage on. Look at these dirty crackers.
Bunch of future school shooters.
That's right.
A bunch of incest babies. That's right. A bunch of babies made out of incest. The biggest terrorist on the face of this earth is the pale-faced man, woman, and child.
Gee, I wonder why the left keeps targeting Tucker Carlson's advertisers, why they keep wanting him to go off air. After seeing that montage, all I'm saying is that my noggin is a joggin'. But this whole event apparently casted a very ugly light on the very tolerant, loving, and compassionate left. I'm going to show you a couple of tweets from blue check marks first. A couple of them that aren't blue check marks, but they're just so outlandish that you need to see. And remember, like, these are the people that social media endorses. These are the people that I guess I should strive to be more like. And first of all, we're going to see Jessica Valenti, feminist, progressive person, open-minded, very tolerant. I honestly haven't stopped thinking about that MAGA kid all day. In part because I think so many of us have been on the receiving end of the face he was making. A smug, untouchable entitled, "Fuck you." I like to respond with a quote, to wear an improper expression on your face, to look incredulous when a victory was announced, for example, was itself a punishable offense. There was even a word for it in Newspeak. FaceCrime, it was called. We are clearly onto something, because that face is exactly why genocides and atrocities happen. It's haunting! The smug disrespect we've all encountered. He's part of this sick indoctrination! A young, radicalized Nazi to be! And I guess now that the good, decent, kind-hearted folks of our community understood what's at stake here, and at stake clearly is genocide, and they're there to stop the National Socialists from starting World War III, I guess, everything is justified. Everything is permissible. And this is why we see a gentleman by the name of Uncle Shoes. If you are a true fan of shoes, I want you to fire on any of these red hat bitches when you see them. On sight. Fire on the Make America Great cocksuckers. On sight. Lock the kids in the school and burn that bitch to the ground. Now, I'm not an expert on hate speech. I wish I was. But then again, Zuckerberg can't define it either, so what do you expect from me? But I do know incitement to violence. So this to me seems like incitement to violence towards a minor. And if you think that Twitter would do something about it, you're wrong. Okay, you're absolutely wrong. Heaven forbid you dead name or misgender someone on Twitter, because no, that's bannable, right? But if you encourage someone to murder directly a minor, nevertheless, the Twitter Trust and Safety Council dreams that this is very safe. I mean, it's no problem, no biggie. You know, just keep doing it. It's fine. Just imagine if someone were to do this to Mr. David Hogg. Like, if Mr. David Hogg, which is also a minor, would get, you know what, half the abuse that this MAGA kid got. Not all of it. No. I don't think he could take, but half of it. What do you guys think? Would Twitter step in? Would the Trust and Safety Council have something to say? A school shooting at Covington would be acceptable. I don't know about that one, Chief. Oh, I thought it's an earthquake. No, it's Bob Chipman with a hot take. Good, if the world were just, that feeling would be the rest of their lives, following them always, keeping them from social mobility and even restful sleep. Also, what the fuck is a Joey salad? I wasn't surprised that Bob Chipman doesn't know what a salad is. But anyway, are you ready for the biggest one, the number one? I mean, okay. Before I say anything, make sure that you're sitting down. So if you're listening on a phone or something, just take a break. You know, like lay down, because this one is going to floor you. And this is by far the one that takes the icing on the cake. Liberal comedian offers oral sex to anyone who punches MAGA teen in the face. Like, she actually issued a pussy fatwa on this guy. Like, again, it's a minor, right? We're talking about a child. Like, this is not even an adult. And how is this not illegal? How are these people not already investigated by the authorities? Like, can you imagine if I would do something like this on my channel? Like, first of all, I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't be able to sleep. And I'm not that type of person. Like, you need to be a special level of psychopath in order to do something like this to a minor. But then, if I would try to do it, I would get flagged so fast. Like, so fast. It's not even funny. Like, I would click upload, and by the time the video is up, I would be flagged. But for some reason, it seems that it's not that all people who are part of the left are psychopaths, but it does seem that if you are a psychopath and you want to do your psychopathic activities in a socially acceptable manner, you need to join the left. Like, you can use that ideology as a shield in order for you to do the most despicable and socially unacceptable things ever. There is absolutely no way you can use your pussy or your tongue in this manner in order to justify and bait people into doing violence on kids, right? The only way you can do it, and for people not to be morally outraged, is if you're a leftist, because then you're doing something for the greater good. You're fighting racism or some shit, right? Like, getting a kid punched is fighting racism. Like, racism will disappear if only we can do harm to a child. Like, does that even compute at any level? Are you actually fighting racism, or is this just something for you to feel good? Because I think this is what it is. Like, these people feel good when other people suffer. And in order to get some good targets, they join the left. But at the very least, there are some sane voices among the left. Some sane voices that are saying, okay, maybe this is too far. Maybe we shouldn't shame them, right? And apparently the argument goes that because if they were 18, we could shame them all we wanted for their apparent lifetime of abhorrent behavior. But not when they're young enough where the consequences of their awful behavior could be impacted for the rest of their lives in a positive way. So the reason we shouldn't shame them is because somehow maybe this could be positive in a way, right? Because they're kids and people will look up and, oh, they're kids, what are you doing, right? If only we could feed them some growth hormones or some technology that accelerates aging, then we could shame them. And by shaming, it actually means encouraging actual violence against them. It actually means trying to find out at which university they want to go to make sure that we end their lives, to make sure they have no social mobility, that they don't sleep, as Bob Chipman actually put it, right? This is what shaming means. Now, I don't want to talk about this too much because this is not about what this video is, believe it or not. You know, I'm not here for these woke of the wokest takes. No, I want to show you what happens when they actually get the wrong target. Because believe it or not, the kind-hearted morons actually dox the wrong person in the beginning. No, I'm not making this up. Like, they dox the wrong guy. And we got his brother, Andrew Hodge, actually telling us what happened to his family. So, yesterday was supposed to be a day of celebration for my middle brother, Alex, who got married last night. Instead, my family had to deal with the fallout of my youngest brother, Michael Hodge, being falsely accused for standing and smiling in front of an indigenous man with a drum. So, let's get this straight. They doxed the wrong guy. He wasn't there doing the hideous crime of smiling, because yes, this is what's about. Like, someone had the audacity to smile in front of an indigenous man. How dare he, right? He showed disrespect, right? And when you see people like this, showing disrespect, that's fine. But he showed disrespect to someone better than him, I guess. I don't know. It's, as an Eastern European, it's so hard to grasp my head around this concept. Good God. But anyway, moving on. People then proceeded to spam my family with harassments and threats of physical violence. We then find out that our parents' address was posted online. And if that wasn't enough, our family-operated business has been slandered and attacked. Don't worry, Andrew. You're a good person in order to be a target against fighting racism, right? Your family business and your family needs to suffer so these people can feel good and virtue signal, right? So this is your job in this world. You need to take it like a man, I guess. No one reviews evidence or does any due diligence. They immediately escalate things to a state of frenzy over much of nothing. The zealots scream for the head of Michael Hodge, knowing that there will be zero consequences to them if anything happens to him. Right, so me on my YouTube channel, I have to constantly be aware of hate speech, which is speech that could somehow perhaps maybe lead to some sort of violence, right? And then you got the mainstream media who doesn't give a fuck. No one is being fired for this. PayPal is not going to take away any of their payment processors' abilities. There's no consequences when the mainstream media does goof. And they actually put a minor in danger because of their shitty reporting, which most of even the legacy media is now apologizing for this. Let's just get this straight, right? But no consequences for them. Absolutely nothing. But you know, Alex Jones says something. Oh. Moving forward, Andrew Hodge. My parents, uncles, and aunts received messages stating that they are pieces of shit parents and won't be able to protect Michael Hodge forever. Seriously, what kind of behavior is this? Compassionate behavior. Tolerant, the type of behavior from the people on the right side of history. Andrew, this is what it is, right? Like, you need to be more like them. These people have blue check marks on Twitter. The fuck do you know, right? Hey, do you have a blue check mark on Twitter? No, you don't. They're your betters. That's what they are. There's no consequences for them. They don't even get banned from these social platforms. Nothing happens to them. Absolutely nothing. And people keep wondering me, like, why am I against corporations deciding who gets to speak and who doesn't? This is why. Right here, you see it. Moving forward, Michael Hodge is the best kid I know. He volunteered for Special Olympics, took them skiing this Thursday, is involved in the church youth group, doesn't drink smoke, and is an aspiring chef. Yeah, but is he a progressive? Because that's what's really important. Is he a progressive or a Republican? If he's a Republican, everything bad under the sun can happen to him. And no one is going to suffer any consequences because he's on the wrong side of history. By the way, there was another tweet. I had it bookmarked and I can't follow it, but there was someone saying, oh, look at these kids. They're in a white-only school. What type of parents send their kids to such a abhorrent environment? This is what these people are pushing, right? Like, imagine going into Africa and finding a black-only school and saying, oh my God. Or going into Japan and finding a Japanese-only school. And it's not like, like anyone is forbidding people from joining that school. No, it's impossible to just happen, right? Like, you need to understand, if 4 white people are decent people and they're not racist, the moment they start an organization or a corporation, they become racist because they're not diverse enough. Anyway, this just got me onto a rant. People then started circulating articles of him regarding his dreams and goals of being a chef, finds the college he plans on attending, and proceeds to blow them up, encouraging them to resign over and calling him a racist piece of shit. Again, they got the wrong guy. Like, this is not the guy who did the crime of smiling. Like, this is a guy that's completely unrelated to the event. You reach out saying how terrible of a family we are, defame us, threaten us, and you know nothing about us, yet you circulate information and spam us. Like, is the only truth has ever existed in your life. You condemn my parents for being horrible role models. Yet you jump to conclusions. And we're ready to string up an innocent dude. Is that what you're teaching your family, your children? I sure hope not. Don't worry, they are. They are teaching that this is the correct moral behavior. I am sick of this. I am absolutely sick. I can't read these anymore. It is the most disgusting thing that could have happened. Like, this is the worst way to start off the year. I can't even. Let me know what you think. Looking forward from reading from you guys in the comment sections.